Good evening, everybody. Happy Saturday. Buckeye Piper. Scoot you a little closer. Smoking the 673 Savinelli Roma. You guys know it as the Friday Savinelli. Smoking it on Saturday, so I don't follow the rules a lot of times. Excuse me. My Chicago Cubs Zippo. Busted it out since the All-Star break. They've been playing, ooh, man, I got some Perique on that one. They've been playing some great balls since the All-Star break. I think they've lost once. I think they're 7-1, 8-1, somewhere in there. Drinking some Scottish apple juice tonight, which is fantastic on a hot night, Carolina. I'm going to start a new series tonight. I'm still going to keep the 80s series going. But thought I had another pretty good idea for a series that folks may enjoy. And I'm going to call this series Sea Stories. And basically they're going to be some of my adventures with my time in the Navy and some of the things I was able to see and do. Now, before you turn off or unplug, it's going to be probably PG rated. You know, we're not going to get too crazy because there was some crazy stuff. And we'll talk about some of that in some of these videos, but we're not gonna get into the cussing like we used to. I mean, I would tell you literally the F word was used as a noun, a verb, an adjective, a conjunction, an adverb, I mean, whatever. It was F and 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 kid you not. It took a while to break that. I mean, you would, not uncommon, you'd get 5-6 F'ers in a sentence. Literally. So in the pipe tonight, trying some of that White Lightening everybody's been raving about, the Cornell and Deal. So, pretty good stuff so far. The Perique, I got a shot of it a little bit ago, is really peppery. But I don't get the topping yet, but you know, I'm just getting into the bowl. So anyway, let me tell you a story about Mykonos, Greece. And if you don't know much about Mykonos, Greece, and I don't know everything, and I didn't look up a lot, again, I tell my stories off of what I remember. I don't script my videos or anything. But it's in the Greek Isles, and it's really beautiful. What I remember about Mykonos, Greece is when we pulled into Mykonos was we were threatened to be on our best behavior. We were the first U.S. Navy ship to have pulled back into Mykonos, Greece in 15 years. You know, when you're cruising the Med, you don't just get to pull into where you want to go. I mean, that country has to invite you, and you have to, you know, there's a lot of stops that are normal that are standard, but they're special stops. This was one of those in Mykonos. And in '79, the Spartanburg County went in there and just tore the place to heck, and drinking and fighting, and they kicked the Navy out for 15 years. So we were told, you guys screw this up, it could be screwed up for everybody forever. So do not screw it up. If you screw up out there, expect to go see the old man at captain's mast and expect to get hammered. Bottom line. They weren't playing. In fact, they made it known you better be able to walk across the quarterdeck on your own power. And you better not be so drunk that you have to be carried up the brow and across the quarterdeck, or you're done. And oh yeah, not only are you done if you're that person, your buddies that you were with were done. Because in the Navy, in every port, you had to go minimum 2 folks to a party. Usually we went a lot. We had a big group usually, but minimum buddy system. Because there's a lot of craziness in some places over there. So Mykonos, and I didn't know at the time. And I'm not one to judge. So folks, whatever you fall along these lines, it's not a big deal to me. Mykonos is really one of the biggest openly gay areas in kind of the Mediterranean and in Greece. Very prominent there. Again, it's not up to me to judge. Whatever, however, I'm fine with it. I have friends that are gay. I have no problem with it. Anyhow, so we pull in, and it's gorgeous, right? It's gorgeous. And if I remember right, we pulled pier side. We didn't have to take a Liberty launch, which sucked anytime you had to take a Liberty launch, because you'd have to launch out in one of the whale boats and then ride back. And there's a whole other story about the Saratoga and some guys that got in trouble and killed on a Liberty launch. But we were pier side, so we walked down the pier. Didn't know at the time that it was that big of an openly gay area. Again, nothing wrong with it. So as we're coming down, crossing the quarterdeck, coming down the brow, and I can't even remember all my Navy terms. Is it the gangway or whatever? We're getting off the ship, right? There's this gorgeous yacht parked across the pier from us. And it's just chocked full of all dudes, European guys. And they're yelling and hooting and hollering at us saying, "Hey sailors, you want to go for a boat ride?" First of all, no thank you. Again, not judging, but no. Second of all, we've just been on a boat for 30 or 40 days. I'm not getting back on another one, no offense. Short of, I don't know, Donald Trump giving us millions of dollars to get on a boat and go cruising the Med, we weren't getting on another boat. It was time to enjoy ourselves. We had been cooped up for too long, right? So we get down, and I'm with, my good my good buddy Brian, who I'm still really good friends with to this day. He and I were kind of counterparts. He was an AZ, I was an AK, so our jobs really intersected a lot, and we did a lot together. We did 2 cruises, and just was really good friends with Brian. He and I would always hang out, and we would let anybody come with us. On this day, we were taking a guy named Z-Man. Don't remember his first name. Really, all I remember about him was he was an undesignated airman striking. So he got all the crap jobs. And the other thing I remember about him is he wouldn't shower. We literally had to pull his sheets off his rack. They were almost black because he worked on the helicopters and the grease and the oil. And we had to literally force him to shower. Because in the Navy, when the tight spaces, you just don't have room for that kind of stuff. You just don't. It wasn't. In the Navy's in the Navy of the 70s and stuff, they probably would have beat him and scrubbed him down with steel wool. We didn't do all that. We weren't that mean, but we stripped his bunk down and forced him to shower. But anyhow, he went with us. So we get down. And Mykonos, and we get down off the ship. It's gorgeous. It is the most, to this day, probably the most beautiful place I've ever been in the world. The beaches are just pure white sand, you know, the water is just that emerald greenish blue that you could see 10, 12 feet down. Just gorgeous. I do want to go back. I'd love to take Mrs. Buckeye, and one day maybe we'll go to Mykonos. I'd love to see it again. Known for the windmills and the pelicans. Gorgeous windmills with kind of like the thatched hay kind of roof that you could see from any spot in the city. They say you could see these windmills. Just fantastic. All the buildings are kind of like a white stone wash, kind of bleached white. There's some color, but a lot of white. And just remember that. So first stop, there was a couple other guys with us at first. I think Jamie was with us. And I can't remember. Maybe another guy or two was with us. So being young and stupid, you know, the first place we're going is the beach. And it's nude. Well, it's topless. It's nude. It's Europe. It's nude. So when in Rome, you can always tell the Navy sailors because their bums are as white can be. We're the only people out there with tan lines. Everybody else is bronzed, you know, because they just tan that way. We're all laying on the beach, face down, bashful, shy, you know, 20-year-old, 21-year-old. It's got to have been I've been 21. So we're all laying on the beach face down. Look up. Here comes Z-Man. He's just strolling down the beach. No problem. Just walking around like he don't have a care. I'm like, good Lord, Z-Man. What are you doing? The rest of us are a little bit more modest. You know, that's the American in us. He didn't care. Anyhow, as the day progressed, we ate fine food. We dined. The pelican down. I still got a picture somewhere of me giving, I think it's on my Facebook, me giving bunny ears to this pelican who was mean as hell, by the way. And the pelican's kind of the mascot of the city. But anyhow, we got into the drinking. And every port we drank, it didn't matter where we were going. We were drinking. And you didn't have to be of age. Although I think I was at the time. Anyhow, the flavor of the day in Greece at that time was ouzo. And you could still get ouzo. It came in probably a 3-4 ounce bottle maybe. Now this wasn't the ouzo of your father or grandfather. This wasn't the opium laced ouzo. That had already been, the Navy had banned people from drinking ouzo when it was laced with opium. And now this is the new ouzo that doesn't have it. So you could have it. It wasn't off limits. Brian and I don't think we got into too much ouzo. We pretty much stuck to beer. But here's Z-Man. Dude doesn't drink at all. But the topless beach must have got him charged up or something. I don't know what happened to the guy. He decides he wants to drink. And he's really not of age. I'm not your dad. Who am I to stop you from drinking? Go ahead. So he gets into the ouzo. I remember we're at this beautiful kind of a bar. It's probably 3 or 4 in the afternoon on a weekday. So it's not hopping yet. Although, man, we hit the clubs in Mykonos at night. I will tell you, some of the most beautiful people, male and female, that I've ever seen in one place from all over the world. It's a destination spot. There was Japanese folks there. There were from all over Europe and England, and everybody was on holiday is what they call it. And when they do holiday over there, they don't take a week vacation. They take a month. That's holiday. I need a holiday. So Z-Man gets into it. It's early in the day. I don't know if this was our first. I think this is our first day in. And it's 3 or 4 in the afternoon. He drinks that little bottle of ouzo. for a guy that doesn't drink, he is toast. So here Brian and I are, we broke off from the big group and we're just hanging out because we were doing some souvenir shopping and some dinner. I still have some of the souvenirs that I had bought for family from Mykonos. We had broken off from the main group and had a brunch and had some booze. Here's Z-Man, smoked. Can't even stand up. Remember what I said in the beginning of the video, if you're still with me here at the 15-minute mark. You or your friends come across this quarter deck and you can't stand up or you can't cross it the correct way, unaided, it's all of you. Not one of you, it's all of you. We're freaking out because we're not the kids that get in trouble. We're not the kind of guys that, we didn't go to the cat houses. We didn't do all that stuff. Yeah, we went out and got drunk and had a good time. We didn't go to the seedy areas. You know, we didn't do that. A lot of guys did, trust me. And we weren't those guys. Can't keep this pipe lit. But anyhow, so we're losing our mind. You know, Brian and I, we've got a pretty good buzz going. We've been drinking some beers. Here we got this kid, he's 19, from New York, never drank, got plastered with ouzo and can't stand up. What are we going to do, man? What are we going to do? And I still have pictures of this. We picked the old boy up. It's like you see in the movies, sailors carrying each other drunk. We carried this kid around Mykonos, dumping soft drinks down his throat, water. He can't hold anything down. He's just walking, talking, blah. He's a mess. We can't leave him. You know, we're not gonna leave him. But by God, we're not gonna get ourselves in trouble for this guy either. You know, there's just no way. So we walked him around probably for three hours or better. We sober him up enough that he can stand by himself. Threaten him the whole time. Dude, you know what this means. You heard what they said. Zero tolerance. They're not playing on this one. A lot of times they would give us a pass, and if you stumbled across the quarter deck, depending on how bad you were, you may, but they'd give you a pass a lot of times. This one, you were not going to get a pass just because of what had happened. We're slapping him around. Hey, dude, wake up, wake up, wake up. Because he's trying to pass out on us as well. So, 3-4 hours later, it's probably about as dusk as it is now here. We finally get him to the point where he could stand and walk and talk a little bit on his own. He's probably 3-4 hours out of it. Maybe 5 hours. It's probably 8-9 o'clock over there. And it's been going on since probably about 3. So we're taking him onto the ship. It's time to put him to bed. And I wish I had a more crazy story, but we got him up the brow and got him up gangplank brow, whatever. Can't even remember my Navy terms. We got him across the quarterdeck and we stuffed his butt in a rack and said, "You're done." We went back out because we were both sober and pissed at this time. But, you know, weren't going to let the kid get crucified, and we weren't going to leave him because we, you know, it's not how we rolled. Anyhow, that was one day in Mykonos, Greece. The one that always, you know, that I remember a lot. Now, again, There were a couple other nights we were in the nightclubs dancing and partying and just having a ball. This was, again, my most favorite port of call of any of them. Beautiful, gorgeous. And a lot of times we were on an oiler / ammunition ship. We pulled into the seedy cities that had these big oil refineries and gas where we could take on gas and everything. This was not that. This was the one or two times a cruise they pull into a beautiful, beautiful port and let you go for 3-4 days. This was one of those. So we got him. We got all boys situated. We got him taken care of. But you know, never forget. Highly recommend that if you haven't drank before, that you don't start out with ouzo in Mykonos. Probably not what you want to start with. That's not a good starting point. Anyhow, folks, again, didn't end in a drunken brawl, didn't end with anybody getting hurt, dying, or in trouble. So this is one of those good happy endings. But if you stuck with me, I hope you enjoyed the story. Give me some feedback below deck. Let me know if you want to hear more sea stories. You know, I'll bring them up as I can recall. We had a lot of fun, especially on the 94 cruise. A lot of fun. But that was Mykonos. Wishing you all the blessings in the world. Take care of each other. Stay safe out there. Pay it forward. We'll catch you later.